This is the city of dawn.
Let me warmly welcome you to the City of Dawn YouTube channel. My name is Mubati Seeker. I am a medical doctor, healer, writer and teacher. I am the author of the best-selling Awake Giant, The Dawn of the Soul, which you can purchase on Amazon. This book can be your inner guide to inner development and self-discovery, helping you become who you truly are. I want to help you discover why you are here, what your unique and personalized mission is here on this planet called Earth, and how to set out with strong determination, courage, and resolve on the path that has been waiting for you so long. This path was made for you, and no one else can walk it for you. My channel and of course my book will help you with this. But in ordinary life, when rich men want to give their wealth to the divine, and the divine is not in front of them, then to whom are they to give? They don't know where to give their money. Yes, but then the question doesn't arise. If they haven't met the divine either within or without, it doesn't come into question. They are not asked to give to someone they do not know. If they have found the divine within themselves, well, they have only to follow the indication given by the divine for the use of what they have. And if they follow quite sincerely and exactly the indications they receive, this is all that can be asked of them. But until then, nothing is asked of anyone. One begins to ask only when someone says, "Here I am, I want to consecrate myself to the divine." Then it is all right. From that moment, one asks, but not before. Before that, even if you casually pull out a coin from your pocket and put it there, it is very good. You have done what you thought you ought to do, and that's all. You are not asked for anything at all. There is a great difference between asking the divine to adopt you and making a gesture of goodwill, but without the least intention of changing anything whatever in the course of your life. Those who live the ordinary life well, if they make a gesture of goodwill, so much the better for them. This creates for them antecedents for future lives. But it is only from the moment you say, "There, now I know that there is but one thing which counts for me. It is the divine life, and I want to live the divine life." From that moment, one asks you not before. Mother, there are people who come here, who have money and are very devoted, who show their devotion, but when the question of money comes up, they bargain. They come with the idea of taking from the divine all they can. All the qualities, all the capacities, all the conveniences also, all the force, everything, and sometimes even powers and all the rest. They come to take. They don't come to give. And their show of devotion is simply a cloak they have thrown over their wish to take, to receive. That covers a wide field, from saving one's soul, having spiritual experiences, obtaining powers, to leading a pretty quiet life, comfortable, more or less comfortable, at least with a minimum of comfort, without cares, without botheration, far from the worries of life. That's how it is. That covers a wide range, but when they give, it is a kind of bargaining. They know that to obtain these things, it would be well to give a little something, otherwise they won't get them. So they make a show of being very devoted. But it is only a pretense, for it is not sincere. Unfortunately for them, it deceives no one. It may be tolerated, but that doesn't mean that anybody is deceived. The bargaining is everywhere, in all the parts of the being. It is always give and take, from the highest spiritual experiences to the tiniest little material needs. There is not one in 1,000 who gives without bargaining. This was from the Mother's book, Questions and Answers, 1956. We are now going to address a question that arises quite often and which has recurred again and again in the history of mankind. This question addresses the material support for God. At this point, there is such a confusion in human minds that it is worth saying a few words about. There have been many attempts throughout the ages to collect money from men in the name of God. But let us make one very important point here. God does not ask for money. He is not interested in these material things. When you die, He will not care how much money you have. He is interested in another currency. How much you have striven in your life, how much you have given of yourself, and how much progress you have made spiritually rather than materially. People have always liked the group together, and like-minded people have come together to form or are forming certain religious communities. Those who have ever formed such a community have included some rituals that make the group unique because it can't be like the others. People would say, well, there are already some like that, why don't you join them? If the ritual order is established, it would be nice to have some prayer houses where we can come together, so we need a lot of things. And of course, we need money to maintain it. How do we get the money? Well, the followers, the faithful, will give to God. The fault is here. It has always been here, even in the old time with the religious teeth. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem with members of a community financially supporting their community to keep it going. I just want to get the concepts straight. The mistake is when the leader of the community tells the members that the money is for God. This is where the words of the Mother come in, that God asks you for effort, for devotion, but never for money. He is not interested in that. The honest and correct way of putting it would be for the leaders to say, dear brothers and sisters, please donate money to maintain our institution so that we have money to cover our expenses and we can gather together at other times. It is a clear line, but it is not God's business. It doesn't matter to Him where you come together. It doesn't matter what kind of service you perform. There are just externalities. They often hide the point. Is it right for a rich person to spectacularly donate money to God by giving the money to a group of people who follow God? And say in the media you see it being written, what a man, what a heavenly man he has given to God. The Mother said, no one asked him. Who did he actually give the money to? There are several problems with such spectacular giving. Why did she give it? Was it truly because the cause of God was important to her? Wasn't it more to get on the front page and pose in the limelight of a big giver? Giving with such intentions, no matter how much money you give, tends to reinforce your negative qualities: vanity, conceit, pride, selfishness. It's not a good investment. You pay to regress, spiritually speaking. The Mother says, as long as one has not surrendered oneself completely to God, why should one give a penny? To whom? To someone she doesn't know? Just because you walk into a church and spectacularly throw money into the collection box, it doesn't mean you know God. Such giving doesn't make much sense spiritually. Shall I tell you how you can still give money to God? Again, I stress, He doesn't need money. Money is just a tool. Still, how to use it well? Let's say you have so much money that you feel a desire to do charity and you want to give. You send money to a religious denomination. You send money to the starving in Africa, to sick children. What do you do with it? Well, you are collecting good karma for yourself. Let's say you do all this quietly, secretly, so that nobody knows but you. Then it will really give you good karma. If you do it by bragging about it to other people, by telling your friends in a fake, modest way, or by posting that you sent money to this and that, obviously in that case you've lost good karma because it's an egoistical act. At best you're coming out with zero, spiritually speaking. But let's say you did give selflessly, quietly, secretly. Then you've really generated positive karma. You will be credited for it upstairs. And if you do a lot of it in your life, you will accumulate so many extra points that it will definitely benefit you in your later life. However, it's not worth anything in terms of development because nobody asked you to do it. Perhaps if we want to talk about progress, we can take it as progress if you give visibly at first, but later on quietly, invisibly. Then it is really progress because you have managed to put your ego on the back burner. I can do you one better setup of sorts where you can jump much bigger. I say if you have the money, fine, have it. But don't put your energy into where to give, how to give, because that's not what God is asking for you to do. What is it that He asks? Strong ambition, total self-surrender, inner identification with your soul so that you can start living a divine life and putting your ego on the back burner. If you give in silence, that's one thing, but don't put too much energy into it because you need the strength and energy for your inner journey. Seek God, His profound truths, His wise revelations. No matter where you look, in which holy book, you will find it. If you preserve in this, if you reject again and again the forces of ignorance and open your heart to the light, the time will come when your personal mission will begin to unfold within you. I've talked about this before, that your mission is for you to find. It's your own thing. And if someone else tells you what your path is, it's possible that they will mislead you and manipulate you. They may lead you to what they think is right for them. Listen only to yourself, to your inner voice. Only He will know. If you don't hear it or feel it, it's okay. Strive, read, evolve, meditate. Take every possible way to expand your consciousness. And then one day you will wake up and say, aha, I've got it. You didn't find it through thought activity. You can't find it that way because when we use our mind, our ego will bring in a lot of things that are just all the thoughts of a chaotic mind. The sense of mission resides in the depths of the soul, and if you quiet your ego, it will come out of the depths. You won't know where from, but you will wake up and you will have it, and that's it. You have to work for it though, you have to do it. It's not given for free, but it's also not paid for with money. It's paid for with effort. When you have found it and you know what your personal task is here on earth, then the question of money may arise because if you need some money for the task, then you know now what to use your money for. As long as you don't know what your mission is, you can't put money into it because you don't know what to put it into. It wouldn't make any difference if you threw your money out of the window of an airplane. You don't know where to put it. If you do know and you need some money to advance your unique mission because you have it, you are not dependent on others and you have a winning case if you put it in. In this case, it really is God's cause that money is for, because God's cause is your spiritual progress. If that has to be supported by money, then you're fine. That's real giving if you want to find a way to give money to God anyway. But it could also be that your mission doesn't need money, and then your money is an irrelevant thing. So it doesn't matter what you do with it. In that case, focus on your mission and don't worry about money. You don't even think about how much potting soil is under your plant in a flower pot. That's about how you should approach money. Whether you have it or you don't have it, if you're not attached to it, it doesn't matter. Mother also talks here about something that is very common in human behavior, and I have seen many examples of this. I am thinking of when someone gives money to get money. By the way, people who give money to God, so to speak, in a spectacular way, usually do it in order to get something, not because of the fact of giving. As the mother puts it, they come to take, they don't come to give. If someone gives to God in a spectacular way, either to get the recognition of others, to be prayed for by the religious leader in return, or maybe even fear. I have told you about fear. It is always a tool of the forces of darkness. If you remember that, you know that when you feel fear, it is never from God. You are most definitely under some kind of hostile influence. And one of the main ways that these dark energies work is to intimidate people, to make ordinary people believe that they have power over them. Such people will fearfully donate to a religious denomination in exchange for God protecting them from harm. Notice that they are here to receive. They are giving money to someone with the hope that they will be able to talk to God and He will protect them. Of course, there are several problems with this. How do you know that the person is able to communicate with God? How do you know that the person is so spiritually high that they are able to communicate easily? I would be suspicious of the very idea of accepting money in exchange for help. A really high soul does not give out help for money. My other problem with this is the shifting of responsibility onto the other person. Suppose the one you give the money to can actually help you and give you protection. Now you depend on him. This will create another fear in you. As long as your money lasts, you can be calm because this person will protect you. But what if you don't have the money? Then the protection is gone and I'm lost. How much more effective is to go through a self-improvement, inner spiritual journey, where you will not only realize that you don't need another person to protect you from evil forces, but you don't even need another person to connect you with God. If you develop yourself, you will be able to do that, and when you realize all this, it becomes clear to you that you never needed protection anyway, because these forces could never have harmed you. They have no power over you and never really had any. They just made you believe they could harm you. It was an orbital bluff on their part all along. What has ever been able to harm you is nothing more than your own ignorance, that you believed they could actually have dominion over you. It's like when you watch a film and you get so into it that you forget that it's really actors playing it, and it's just an illusion. The love story you see on the screen, however real it may seem, is not truth. What is the truth? The people who are kissing on screen are really doing it because they are actors. They are paid to do it, and it is their job to pretend to you that they are in love, though they are not. They are just doing their job. The dark forces are doing exactly the same thing. Their job is to make you feel insecure and to make you doubt, because that's really their job. God has allowed them to do it to serve our progress. How could you grow if there were no obstacles to overcome? They are as those obstacles, so they are doing their job like actors. It's also their job to pretend they have power, but they don't really have it unless you believe it to be true. You must understand that it is an illusion, and the real power in a film is not in the hands of the actor. It is not the actor who decides when to declare love to the other actor. It is the director who decides. He has the real power in the film. It is the same in your life with the enemy forces. They play their role, but they have no real power. The power is concreted in the hands of the great director, and it is God. Remember, the City of Dawn is you. You who are watching this video and who are thereby being brought into the consciousness of the Divine Mother. Live this in your daily life, and if you feel comfortable here, come back again and again. Be a regular guest here, be a builder, be a resident in the City of Dawn. Discover the deeper truths of your life. Find your way to yourself and become who you really are. If you would like to join me, subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook and TikTok, and feel free to share this video with others. The Mother's books are available to read for free at the link provided in the description, and I welcome any questions you may have via email. You can purchase my book Awake Giant, The Dawn of the Soul on Amazon. You will find the link in the description. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing your hearts and souls. May Mother bless you abundantly on your journey through life. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.